say, kids, what time is it?
Hey, it's Edson at GeekTime TV, back for another review of Berserker. This is issue number 10. I must apologize, it's taken me much longer to get to this issue. It's been a couple of months, 2 or 3 months since the review for number 9. Part of that is because it has become the release of these latter issues have become more erratic. When you have a story that goes 12 issues or so, it does become much more difficult for the creative team to keep to that monthly schedule because they want to get it just right, and sometimes things there's delays and holdups for whatever reason. But I should be able to get back with issue number 11 pretty soon. That just came out last week. That shouldn't take long at all for me to come back and do 11. But then there's a little bit of a wait because they've already announced that the grand finale, issue number 12, will be coming out in March. So that takes a while. And that's fine. As long as they get it right, we can wait till March. And if you've kind of gotten out of focus with this story because it's the releases have been erratic, then you can go back and rewatch my previous videos for issues 1 through 9 and get kind of caught up before we get to this grand finale. So Berserker, issue number 10. Berserker, as I said before, and all of my other reviews, published by Boom Studios with Keanu Reeves and Matt Kindt as the writers, and Ron Garney with the art. So if I remember correctly, at the end of issue number 9, Berserker does come back from his kind of metaphysical visit into outer space and tears through all the soldiers and at the base before they finally stop him. Actually, it's Diana, who's become quite of a mystery in this story, that she now has some powers, and she kind of psychically stops him finally after he goes through all those soldiers and kills them. So at the beginning of this issue, we see that he's recovering, and he's in that same room that they were before, and he's having a conversation with Diana about what happened to him last issue out in space. They're having a conversation, but it's all in their mind, so it's a telepathic conversation, obviously very private. And Caldwell, who's watching from another room, gets very concerned because he doesn't know what's going on between the two of them. Diana asks Berserker, what happened out there, and he conveys that whoever he was talking out there told them that it's time. I remember that panel from last issue where they just said it's time, and then soon after that he was brought back down to Earth. And he tells her that he was given the information of the location of where he was born, the village where his mother was at. It's located, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, the Nefud Desert in Saudi Arabia. And then they both figure out that that's where they have to go next in order to get to this object that his mother had. If you remember, I believe it was back in maybe issue 3 or maybe 4. She wanted to give him this gift that was supposed to help him get rid of this curse, this curse of violence, constant violence. It was this like bird-like image object with that looked like a bird. But then the foster father, immediately just threw it away down this deep well because he didn't want Berserker to lose his powers or anything like that. So they now know that the location they have to go to, and they determine that it's important that that's where they should go next to try to retrieve that. So next thing, his handler comes in and talks to Berserker, says, he's going to be kept under very close observation, obviously, after what happened last issue. It's going to be like a period of 10 days, just where he just lays there recovering while they all make preparations to go to this location in the desert. And right after that, we see that Diana has goes to, we see her go through this garden, and she looks like she's hitting the plantation, the plant, with this like psychic energy. It's like this bluish psychic energy that comes from her, which is like I said, Diana's become a mystery, because we don't know like just how powerful she is, and we don't know like is she in control of herself, or there's some kind of being in control of her, or what's going on, what kind of communication is going on. So she's just giving these plants some kind of energy. And I love this scenery where you kind of just see her randomly do this, and you don't know where it's leading to, but no exposition at all. Ron Garney and team take full advantage of the best, some of the best aspects of the comic book medium, which is this just show, don't tell. I love it when there's a comic book, the comic story just tells you little by little, and doesn't give you all this exposition about every little thing, that explaining every little thing that's going on. You kind of discover it as you should. Then she goes to the lab and uses what they call this hypercomputer. Must be the most powerful computer existing, because at one point Caldwell, who's checking in on her, and because he's kind of suspicious of what she's doing. He doesn't like the fact that he's not in control, and she's just gonna go off on her own. And he's like asking her what's going on. And at one point he's like, "Well, whatever you're doing, you better shut it down soon, because it's gonna take having this computer on will take out the power of most of half of the western seaboard. So it must be a very powerful computer." But it looks like she's experimenting with the plants that she had just affected with her psychic energy. And you still don't know what's going on, as Caldwell doesn't either, and he keeps asking her, trying to get more information, and she just says something like, "Don't worry, pretty soon we're all going to get what we want." And of course, to us, the reader, it's like that even makes it even a bigger mystery. What is it that they want? So is Diana kind of working on her own, with her own ambition? Is she like working for the best interests of the American government, or is she like truly trying to be helpful to Berserker and trying to get rid of this curse that he has, where he just doesn't want to give in to these violent rages anymore? And of course, Caldwell just it doesn't like the fact that he kind of doesn't have complete control of this. So finally, they get out to the desert, and they find that location where the Berserker's mother's village was, where he was born. And at this point, Diana reveals what exactly she was doing with the plants. She has this liquid formula that she wants Berserker to drink, and she explains to him that it's something like what his mother had found out in the wilderness that would help her communicate with the being when she went to ask for the gift, which wound up being Berserker, or the powers that Berserker has. Way back in issue 2, I believe, she went to that cave. So she was making this herbal formula that's going to help him better make contact with this object that's now hidden a mile deep in the desert. There's no well there anymore. It's just like desert, and the object is just all completely covered a mile deep. And as they're getting closer and closer to the location, Berserker also starts having these flashbacks about what happened, and he feels guilt about his mother. He blames himself for his mother's death because he wasn't there to protect her. And it looks like he's just becoming more and more emotional about it as he gets closer. So they find the exact location where the well was, and he reaches down with his hands, and sure enough, the object does come through the desert floor, And at first, it just penetrates his hand, and then it goes on to penetrate his entire body, and pretty soon he's completely enveloped by this force that came out of deep under the desert. And this is like the very end of the issue, where you're left as this cliffhanger as what exactly is happening here. You could clearly see Berserker being in extreme pain over this, and you wonder, did this object do what it was intended to do, basically to take away his powers, his immortality, and his that constant rage that he has that turns into extreme violence, is because that's what his mother had told him. It was supposed to be a way for him to get rid of this curse. And is that what this force is doing, or is it just some other? Is it just something more that's going to take control over him and do even more damage? We don't know. That's the cliffhanger, and we don't know what Diana was hoping to get out of this. She still has some kind of share some kind of bond with him, because she has some of that psychic energy also with him. We don't know what Caldwell and the American military is going to get out of this, because it looks like they had brought in some firepower to witness this whole thing. So not sure what their plan is to try to maybe harness this energy. A lot of questions, as usual, being left up with 2 issues to go, which is perfect. Just making us anxious to see what happens in the next issue, which I'm hoping to get to very quickly. But then, as I said, we have to wait till March for the grand finale. And I'm hoping, I mean, it looks like from some of the information we're getting that maybe sometime next year or early 2024, we're going to get some TV show or movie based on this story with Keanu Reeves starting in it. I believe we're going to get both a movie and a Netflix animated show. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But for now, that's issue number 10. Ending on a classic cliffhanger with many questions to answer. So hope I'll be back soon and talk to you about issue 11. And thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up below. Also, please subscribe to GeekTime TV. It really helps us grow the channel. And make sure you hit that bell icon in order to receive notifications every time we drop new content here. You can also check us out on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at GeekTimeNet. Thanks again for watching. We will see you soon.
Say, kids, what time is it?